everyone, welcome to a brand new video. I hope you all are doing well today. Let's Resin kindly reached out to me and offered me a collaboration opportunity where they would send their new 72 acrylic marker set for me to showcase to my art community, which is you guys. I was more than happy to do that, test these out, and that is what we will be doing today. I'm going to be creating some fun illustrations and I hope you enjoy. So guys, here we have the acrylic markers. Sorry, there might be background noise, but I am super excited to swatch these. And I'm just gonna be honest, I had no idea what these markers would look like what the design would be, how big they were, and how the packaging was going to look like. I was actually surprised when I opened up the lid and they're like all in this box, just like kind of loose. Not that that's good or bad, but it was just like, oh wow, they're like just loose and there's so many and I have to try and find each color. So that'll be interesting. But I also had the idea of just like when you're picking your colors, you can always put it on into the lid if that's something you want to do. Or you could separate them and put them in another container, so it's not a big deal. But it's just gonna be fun looking through all the colors because they're not, I'm used to them being laid out like one by one in order from the different colors and stuff. So yeah, it might take a little bit longer to swatch, but let's get into swatching. I am super excited to see how these colors look. So these markers have a number on top. That number corresponds to the number on the swatch card. There is a ink viewing window on the side of the marker where you can see the level of the ink and how well it is mixed, as well as they are all brush nibs, so you can create a variety of brush strokes. So these markers, you just shake, the ink is already there, ready to go. Shaking it just makes the ink flow more to the tip and mix the ink inside. Some of them, because they were sitting for a little while, it was a little bit streaky, but other than that, they were very smooth. Some of them were a little dry, but that was just probably because they were sitting a little bit unused for a little while. And then there's just one marker that the barrel where the ink travels up, it started to kind of leak as I show here. That's just something to be aware of. Just look at the barrel before you shake, because when I shook that orange one, it started to leak a little bit. This was one of the most satisfying parts, was when I had swatched all of the colors and they were all in order and in a line, well, curvy line. And I just loved seeing them all in a gradient. But then, of course, I had to put them back in the box, which was a little bit tedious, and I had to figure out how to do that because there's 3 tiers of markers, but there's no dividers or anything. So if I needed to get to the bottom, which is where I put the yellow and browns, I have to take the whole top layer off and the whole second layer off to get to the bottom, which then I have to put them somewhere and then they all get mixed. And so that's just a little bit of thing to mention. And that's just the biggest thing I think they could improve on. What is just the design of the box, and maybe get some dividers or layered containers to put them in. But other than that, the markers were really great. They layered beautifully. The ink flowed. They were super juicy. I really liked the color selection. One thing I did want to mention was when I was filling in a bigger area, like the brown cake part, it does look a little bit streaky, but that didn't really bother me, but just something to mention. Of course, these are markers, so specific colors may not be in a particular set, but there's always another color you can use, which is great, and you kind of have to think outside the box. With more colors, there's more options, but it also is hard to find the color when you're not familiar with all the colors. So the swatch card really helped. I used the swatch card a lot to see what colors I needed, and then I would just find the number, and that helped. It took a little while to find different colors, but overall it was a really fun time using these markers. I will leave you to enjoy the rest of the video. I will give my final thoughts at the end. And my final thoughts are that I would recommend them, and I enjoyed using them. They were very juicy and vibrant. I will definitely be using them in the future. If you want these for yourself, I have a link down below. If you want to check them out or order them, I will have it there for you. I want to thank Let's Resin for sending me these markers and gifting them to me to try out. Yeah, these are super affordable and they are just fun to use when you don't want to mix colors or you just want to have a painting session but you don't want all the hassle of getting paints out. And that is the end of the video. The Black Forest cake was definitely my favorite out of the 4 illustrations I did today. I would love to know which ones was your favorite. And I really appreciate everyone who took the time to watch this video. Thank you and have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.